All right. So do you really know if you're profitable? That's the question I was about to ask. And so for a lot of us, we hear and see stories of everyone talk about, big flashy numbers of sales. Sales are great. Sales are for show, but profit is for the dough. So how much dough do you have left over after all your expenses? We're going to be talking about how you can track your income and expenses on Amazon so you actually know how profitable your business actually is. And I get this question all the time. How should I do bookkeeping? Is that something I should offload to someone else? And so I decided to bring on my bookkeeper who runs the company that's been doing my books for many years now. So he's agreed to share a lot of his knowledge in bookkeeping. And this is actually a multi-part series. So in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, there will be a link where you can see the entire playlist. We'll also link to that in notes down below. But with that, to talk about tracking and expenses, or tracking your incomes and expenses for sellers on Amazon, I'm super excited for you. Siddhartha Habelia from Mercurius, my bookkeeper. So, Siddhartha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for the wonderful introduction. Hey, everyone. I don't know, but whenever I and Kevin, we connect for a call and we talk about the Amazon sellers and bookkeeping, I believe it always becomes a session worth recording. Not that we do not have anything to talk about, but we both feel that it is much better to use our experience to enlighten our fellow sellers. In the last video, we covered few of the aspects that were how we should select an accounting software, the relevance of chart of accounts, the major non-negotiable account codes, and the benefits of automation. Those who haven't seen it can see it on Kevin's channel. But that's not where the things end for the Amazon sellers, or for that matter, any other seller. There are a lot of numbers that can get confusing. So what comes next? How do we know that the need for discrete track of transactions have risen and it cannot be deferred any further? How do we ensure that we are well aware of our income and expenses? You must be thinking why it is hard to track income and expenses on Amazon when it provides fairly vast reports that are self-explanatory, well classified under separate heads, clearly lists the tax deductions and all the other expenses. Well, the increased number of numbers can be numerically hard to understand. Here, I believe, are few signs or questions for you to ask yourself, and if these are relatable, then go for it. Do the numbers seem confusing? Does the long list of transactions scare you? Is it too complex for you to track your transactions? Are the number of orders on a rise? Trust me, if answer to any of these questions is yes, then you know it's a time for you to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's jump onto the reports that Amazon provides its sellers. I'm sure a lot of you would be having questions like, what exactly is an Amazon report? It is nothing but a simple, efficient, and convenient way to track data related to all the sales, expenses, and your tax adjustments arising out of your Amazon business. There are numerous reports that are available on Amazon portal. The most important ones are related to payments, Amazon selling coach, business reports, fulfillment, advertising reports, custom reports, tax documents, and return reports. So I'm sure, let me give you like one liner on all these reports as well. Payments reports is the most preferred report for bookkeeping purposes. And this is the report that we will discuss in detail in this video. Amazon Selling Coach, as the name suggests, it is like your best friend on Amazon as it provides valuable insights and personalized recommendations which can help you in boosting your business and increasing your revenue. Business reports, it presents the data in a manner which is easily accessible and understandable to the seller. Fulfillment. This report provides listing, conditions, disposition, and quantity information to help you with day-to-day inventory management. Advertising report, it represents the charges that Amazon takes from you for building the brand and for increasing your sales. Custom reports, this is essentially a function that helps you in generating the customized reports for your business. Tax document library, it contains like everything related to sales tax or any other tax related document. Return reports, something that all the sellers hate. It tracks the returns and the refunds that are made to the sellers. Right. So the reports on Amazon, they are well made and classified in separate parts. But why is it still difficult to read them? That's because it has too much data, and too much data has too much of
and it's in a bunch of different places.
Exactly. Right. And we are unable to identify what is relevant and what is not. So let me break it down for you. There are only 4 reports which are relevant for you. And these are related to payments, tax document library, business reports, and advertising reports. To make it even simpler, let me talk about the most prominent one. As mentioned earlier, the payment reports are the most crucial report for bookkeeping purpose, and that's where our today's video is centered around. But before hopping onto that, let us first understand what we exactly need to extract from these reports. So all we need to look at is the debits and the credits. Well, that's how the accountants talk. Jokes apart, we need to identify the type of transactions, which essentially can be divided into 2 parts, that is the revenue and the expenses. In other words, what comes in and what goes out of our bank account, the pluses and the minuses. Let me name some of those for you to help you understanding them better. Revenue means all the money that comes into our bank account, which includes the product sales and the shipping and gift wrap credits. There's an exception to it, which is related to refunds. I'm sure refund is related to the money that goes out of the bank account, but why is it still recorded under the revenue head? Well, again, I would say that's how the accountants talk. So this is the only exception to that rule. Whereas expenses, mind you, this part is much more complex than the first one. Amazon sellers incur expenses in various forms, and I can easily understand your pain. But in turn, it requires us to properly categorize them. Expenses include promotional rebates, selling fees, FBA fees, cost of advertising, and Amazon subscription. I think now it's time for us to get back to the payment dashboard. Now, once you are on the payment dashboard, you may have a choice to view it in a lot of different modes depending on your understandability. These modes may be statement view, transaction view, date range view, disbursement, deferred transactions, and all statements. Statement view. As you can see it in the slide, it is a graphical representation of your numbers. I know it looks too complicated with these colorful waves, but it essentially depicts the refunds, expenses, sales, beginning balance, and account level reserves. Moving on to the transaction view, this page displays the account transactions within a statement period or up to the prior day close. A transaction, it can be an order, a refund, or an Amazon initiated charge of credit. Even though the report looks cumbersome, but I'm sure this is one report that every seller would like to begin his day with. Disbursement report. I'm sure this is also one of the report that all the sellers wait on a fortnight basis. This shows the amount which is paid to your bank account for every settlement period and the status of the fund. The date range report, I would say, this is the bookkeeper's delight. The date range report is a custom report that allows you either to select a month or a specific period to get the detailed listing of all the transactions in your Amazon portal. This is the most useful report to track your Amazon income and expenses as it defines all the transactions in a pretty organized manner. You can easily download the report with easy steps for the preferred period. I'm not going to teach you how to do it technically, but you can easily pause the video here and take a screenshot of this slide and can view it later as per your convenience. So herein, I finally conclude my lesson for today. What are the major takeaways from today's video? We now know how Amazon dashboard looks like and what reports we have to point our focus upon for bookkeeping. We know what are the different type of transactions that we need to extract from our seller's account. Lastly, I'm sure the payment dashboard is no more a nightmare for you. Well, should you have any questions, please feel free to mention those in the comment section, and me and my team will be happy to address those. Aside, as mentioned in my earlier video, we are providing free services up to 10 hours to our viewers. I mean, you can easily reach out to us through the link given in the description.
Well, that's very generous of you. So we will have a link down below. In full disclosure, I am an affiliate of Vicarious Advisory Services, but I'm an affiliate because they've been doing my bookkeeping for many years, well before that. So thank you, Siddhartha, for helping us as sellers understand where some of these reports are. And then I highly recommend folks you start taking some of these reports and you get someone to do it in bookkeeping format so that way you can see things all together because there is a lot of data coming at you. So we'll have a link to that down below and appreciate you putting this together. Thanks so much, Siddhartha.